May I make a confession, not a confession, an acknowledgement that Afghanistan is actually my fatherland. My father's family came from Ghazni in Afghanistan. So we are Pashtuns. I'm 50% Pashtun. My mother was related to a Sikh family, so I'm 50% Sikh. So for me, Afghanistan is in some ways the fatherland, while India, of course, is my motherland and has my total loyalty. Now, there are certain things about Afghanistan that I would like to make very clear so that people can the millions who watch your show and you yourself would have a better understanding. I have interacted with people from Afghanistan right through my 52 years in diplomacy. I'm 74 years young now. What is the issue between Afghanistan and Bharat? Nothing, zero. Till 1947, as the Afghans tell us, India, British India, before August 1947, before the creation of Pakistan, British India was Afghanistan's neighbor. And many of them ask us, ये चूहा पाकिस्तान बीच में से कहाँ आ गया? ये कहाँ से घुस गया बीच के? They've never had an issue with us. In fact, it's useful to know that the first Indian government in exile was formed by, I think, Raja Vishwanath Pratap Singh, and that was in Kabul. And since we had no money, this was during the First World War, it was funded by the Amir of Afghanistan. So the relationship has been very warm. Whenever I've met them or been there, I hear them talk about Indian films, Indian actors. They can all sing. Many of them speak Hindi. Thousands have studied in India. There's an enormous amount of goodwill for Bharat because we've never done anything to hurt Afghanistan's interests. Now, I take you back to 1999. The Kandahar incident when our plane was hijacked by Pakistani terrorists, the Taliban one was then heavily involved in it. That was in December of 1999, just around New Year's, if I remember. And then, of course, 9/11 came in 2001. The Taliban were pulverized by awesome American air power, and we also helped the Northern Alliance, which was led by a fellow, a Tajik commander, whom I'd met, by the way, Ahmed Shah Massoud. He was assassinated 2 days after 9/11, but nevertheless, we gave whatever support we could. And then ultimately, they threw out the Taliban. And after that, we had all kinds of funny things going on till the Taliban came back to power, as you know, a few years ago. And the Americans left and left in a hurry, left in total disarray. Now, when the earthquake took place in Afghanistan 2 months ago, we were the first responders. We rushed food, we rushed medicine, we rushed tents, we gave them whatever was required, even biscuits that had been reinforced with proteins and vitamins and so on. We gave them a lot of us. We have been very friendly with Afghanistan. The ordinary Afghan, whether he's pro-Taliban or not, he understands that his best friend in the region is Bharat. Your question was that the foreign minister of Afghanistan now coming here, even though we don't formally recognize them, we do have a mission. And the mission in Kabul is doing tremendous work because when we handed over the humanitarian aid to the Afghanistan government, we did it through our mission in Kabul. We gave it to the government. We don't believe in giving it directly to people, etc., as some of the Western countries do, hoping that they will curry favor with the other agencies or the NGOs and so on. We go straight to the government. That's been our policy right through and very successful. So what happens is, what's the message to Pakistan? The foreign minister of Afghanistan has come here directly. He hasn't traveled through Pakistan. There was some speculation by some stupid fellows that he would first stop by and tell them, look, buddies, I'm going to Bharat, but don't get upset because I'm only going there to get medical treatment. That was the official reason. Otherwise, there is a UN ban on travel by Taliban officials, and that was waived for this fellow. It has been done in the past for others also. So the feeling in Afghanistan and the feeling in India is, why were we at loggerheads? We were at loggerheads because of Atankistan, Jihadistan, also known as Pakistan. Now that threat has gone. Let me also tell you something that my grandfather used to quote to me. It's a saying which is wrongly attributed to a chap called Alexander. He was from Macedonia. Alexander the Small, not Alexander the Great. The saying is, may God protect you from the venom of the cobra, the teeth of the tiger, and the revenge of the Pathan. Because you can buy an Afghan, you can rent an Afghan, I beg your pardon, you can't buy him. This is another thing. You rent an Afghan, you can't buy him. So what happened was that Pakistan was trying to mess around in Afghanistan. They talked, their stupid military talked of strategic depth so that, Pakistan leave out Balochistan, but east to west is only about 300 kilometers. The Indian army can slice through Pakistan, cut it into two. Then the military has this fantasy that we'll go to Afghanistan and we'll regroup there and we'll come charging down and we'll do whatever we have to. Idiots. The Afghans won't let them in. Question you're going to ask the Pakistanis sometime when I talk to them. There were lakhs of these chaps, refugees in Pakistan during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. We nourished them, we lodged them, we educated them. Why are they against us? That's not a question you should ask me. It's a question you should ask yourself. You were nourishing them because you were getting money per refugee from the United Nations. When that money stopped, you booted them out. The Afghans don't forget so easily. And also remember, that you were their buddy. You were helping the Taliban. But when 9/11 happened and the Americans started bombing them, Pakistan became a willing ally of the United States in hurting the Taliban. The Taliban don't forget. Son, we have very long memories, we Pashtuns, if I can use that term. I'm only 50% Pashtun. We don't forget easily. And then Pakistan sided with the Americans against the Taliban after earlier having helped the Taliban, without even saying, sorry, guys, the Americans are threatening to bomb us into the Stone Age, so I can't help it. I have to listen to them. They didn't do that. Situation today between Pakistan and Afghanistan is the following. Pakistan says we have a common border called the Durand Line. The Afghans say arrant nonsense. There is no such thing as a common border. If there is, that's the Indus River. All of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa belongs to us. Most of Balochistan belongs to us, etc., etc. They have their own opinion. So they don't recognize it as a border. The Pakistanis have tried to build a fence. The Afghans say nonsense. They keep tearing it down and they keep shooting at the Pakistanis and vice versa. Recently, the Pakistani army lost a number of people was it in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, I think, because they had bombed a place called Tira, killing women and children. Now, Pakistan is very good at this. Their military is very good at killing women and children. They can't fight a professional army. So then there was this bombing that took place. Women and children, 30-something died. And then the revenge was taken. The Pakistani army was ambushed. A lieutenant colonel was killed. A major was killed. A captain was killed. They hit back. You don't mess around, particularly when you know that we take revenge. And this revenge continues for generations. Now, this is the reality. So his coming here is because we're going to strengthen our relationship. If I were Pakistani today, and if I had any sense, which none of them has, I would wonder, why is my relationship with Iran so bad? Why is my relationship with Afghanistan so bad? Why is China angry with me? Who is my friend? McDonald Trump says, give me all your rare earths and I'll be your friend, buddy, buddy, darling, darling. He gives them a lunch or whatever in the White House, whatever they could not consume the night before. He feeds it to this mad mullah, Munaria, this chap who goes around saying he's a fool marshal or something like that. Trump says, very good, keep bringing your rare earths to me. But the reality is, when Trump Saab announced that American companies were going into Balochistan, for example, to do mining, he didn't mean it. Because the Chinese are involved in mining there. They're mining for gold, they're mining for oil, they're mining for copper. So are the Canadians. The Canadians are absolute scoundrels when it comes to this. They don't care about human rights and this, that, and the other when money is involved. There's a company called Barrick Gold, which has an extremely dubious past. It's a Canadian company, and they are mining. And they keep saying all kinds of funny things. So this is the reality. The American companies will not go there. The Baloch will make mincemeat out of them. Who's going to protect them? The Pakistani army can't even protect the Chinese workers on the China-Pakistan economic corridor. They have raised two whole divisions. Every Chinese worker there, he may just be a fellow who digs on the ground or who is a motor mechanic or a driver. Each one of them has two Pakistani fellows to protect him. And the Chinese, I'm told, by very reliable sources, some of my friends who are Pakistani ambassadors who were with me earlier, that these Chinese chaps, they get drunk because they are allowed to have alcohol and so on in a Sharia country. And then they beat up their guards. And the guards are told you can't do anything. So this is the kind of situation. In fact, may I say this to you, that Pakistan has become a Chinese colony. Chinese detest the Pakistanis. The Iranians detest them. And now it's very, very clear that the Afghans also detest them. तो उससे दोस्ती कौन चाहता है? ये जो अमेरिका के साथ कर रहे हैं, it's a marriage of inconvenience. Divorce papers have already been signed. Oh, you're right. Of course it's intentional. We don't do things for no impact whatsoever. Of course, we want to do it. We want to isolate them. We have said very clearly that you are the epicenter of global terrorism. What did our military chiefs have said at the Sindhu 2.0? We will not restrain ourselves. The defense minister has said that the road goes from Kutch to Karachi. The Air Force chief said, guys, when we hit you now, Sindhu 1.0 will be like a party. You will enjoy 2.0. Just wait and see what comes.